And you're actually bringing Aldi from the 19th century to the 21st century.
Yes.
It's a company with $120 billion in sales. What are you bringing now to the table?
Actually, being brave is my biggest challenge. It's not easy for me to make decisions. So what I do is
Get ready for the next iteration of you on your path to becoming wealthy. On this show, you'll get the insider's view on wealth creation, the class none of us got taught in school, with my co-host, daughter, and beginning investor, Sophia Bosch. And now, let's get started.
Welcome to the Becoming Wealthy podcast. I'm Sophia Bosch, your co-host, and this is my mom, the other co-host,
Michelle Bosch.
And we're here today with a very special guest, Natalie Sbilut, or as I like to call her, Nani.
Yes, super excited to have you, Natalie, here. Welcome to Becoming Wealthy. I just want to preface that Natalie is International Marketing Manager for Aldi. Aldi, in case you guys don't know, is a private company that was founded in Germany and currently has about $120 billion in sales worldwide and about $32 billion in sales here in the US. They're actually the owners of what we normally know here as Trader Joe's. And we are super excited to have here be with Natalie here on the show today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yay!
How do we know Nani?
How do we know Natalie? So we know Natalie because Natalie used to be our former au pair from Germany when Sophia was about 2 years old.
If you don't know what that is, it's basically a at-home nanny that lives with you for about a year and helps take care of the kid. And I was the kid.
and Sophia was a kid, absolutely. And so Natalie was with us when Sophia was about 2 to 3 years old. And Natalie was around 19 years of age. So she was a teenager back then. And you want to probably start asking her some questions about that whole process on how she made that decision to come over here.
So I'm in high school, right? Did you know what you wanted to do after high school? Or was it like just random? Like, what did you know what you were wanting to become?
The answer is no. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was really young. So actually, my mom had this great idea to take a gap year, which I really liked, due to the fact that my English was pretty bad. And due to the fact that I had several years experiences in babysitting, I applied for an au pair in the US. And luckily, I matched with the Bosch family.
No, really, the lucky ones, it was us.
Thank you.
Was us. Natalie has now become part of the family, and
your second daughter.
She's like my second daughter. At some point, I had a toddler, and I also had a teenager at home, and I do see her as such, as those incredible humans that come and cross your path and become part of your heart and will just always be. So Natalie, so you didn't know, basically, you were in high school, kind of like Sophia is right now. You didn't know who you wanted to become. Your mother suggests, why don't you take the experience of having babysat, in Germany and take a gap year and kind of figure out what you want to do. So you end up with us. You land here in the U.S. And what was, what did you learn over that year here? And what are some of the things that you did?
I had a lot of homesickness, but I tried to be strong and try to experience this year and take this advantage of knowing myself and knowing new cultures. And I learned a lot to be responsible, self-confident, and be brave of new things. And I think this year was the foundation of finding myself and finding a way I wanted to go.
So would you recommend to
Yes,
other kids right now in high
definitely.
school to
Yes,
do that? Yes.
It doesn't have to be an au pair, but I think this 1 year was a recommendation I would give everyone. You don't lose a year, you just win so much experience.
Are you trying to convince me to take a gap year?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, unless you're pretty certain and you know exactly what your path will be, but if you want to explore, now is not the time, I would say, when you're just graduating high school, is not the time to play it safe. It's the time to basically explore, go take risks, do
That's
big
what all the
things.
teachers say.
Exactly. This is the time to do it. And, there's going to be plenty of time when you're going to be having much bigger responsibility. Pretty much the rest of your life is going to be, about much more responsibility. But even then, Natalie, during her gap year, actually found that she needed to exercise, some responsibility, self-discipline, lead herself in order to be able to also, be the caretaker for a toddler. Yeah, absolutely. And be of immense support, for Joachim and I, for Jack and I, as the parents and host family that was hosting her. So this year is completed, Natalie, and then what happens?
So then I was figuring out what I do want to study. And again, my mom was a special role in this decision. She encouraged me to study in the Netherlands, international business and management in English. And I was looking at this university, and I really liked it because it was international. I could choose my specification by the end of the study, so I could still figuring out what I like, which was marketing in the end. And third, one of the 4-year studies included an internship abroad. So I like that I do not only study theory, but also gathering practice. And this was my second big step.
Into a new becoming, a new identity.
Yes.
So you go from an identity of being a high school student to then the identity of being an au pair, to then the identity of basically being a university student, a business major, and you graduate with a major in marketing. And then what happens?
During my internship, I started to work at Deichmann. Deichmann is the European's largest shoe retailer. And I could try to work, or I had the chance to work in different departments, so I could figure out what I like. Is it social media? Is it print marketing, digital marketing, or something else? And there I figured out that I really like marketing, especially international marketing. So Deichmann offered me not only this internship, but later also my first job offer, which was called International Marketing Assistant. I was really proud of myself that I reached this step, but I also figured out that after a few months, I wasn't challenged enough. So I started to do a Master of Arts with focus on marketing and sales. Deichmann was financially supporting me, and after these studies, they promoted me to an international marketing coordinator, meaning I was responsible for 10 countries in East Europe. So I was dealing with campaign planning, campaign execution based on individual country needs. I was doing marketing research, analyzing them, derive recommendations, and so on. So it was a big challenge for me. And at some point, I figured out that I had to decide do I want to move on or do I want to stay? And I decided to change, which was the next step into Aldi. So I applied for an international marketing manager. And now I'm, developing processes. So all the experiences I got from Deichmann, working very operational, I can now apply in my new job, which is great.
And you're actually bringing Aldi from the 19th century to the 21st century.
Yes.
Because what did you find when you got to Aldi? Even though it's a company with $120 billion in sales, worldwide, what did you find, and what are you bringing now to the table?
I find out that Aldi was growing so fast, but they did not adapt processes and systems during this fast process. So now we're in a big transformation process where I can be part of and be creative. I can be part of this big transformation, and this is what I really like in my new job.
That is amazing. So Natalie, now along the way, I know that when you were going to university in the Netherlands, you were basically working full time and putting yourself to school at the same time. So you were working full time. At this point, were you still living with your parents when you were in university? Tell us a little bit about, basically, from the point of view financially, how do you start, becoming independent?
I worked 1 year full time.
Yeah.
During my first job offer at Deichmann, and then I quickly decided to move to my own department when I had enough money saved to buy my own furniture, etc. So I tried to be independent from the start on.
And was that first apartment that you moved into, was that a rent? Was that something?
It was a rent, yes.
You were renting, okay.
Yes. And I was renting for about 5 years. And then I was thinking about my future. So I was looking at apartments to buy. And I bought my own apartment, which I'm very proud of.
How old were you?
I was 30.
You were 30, okay.
I'm already 33. Yeah, so it was 3 years ago. So I have my own credit now, my own car, my own apartment, and my own life. And it feels really good to not be dependent from someone else. And I know that there's something in the future I can count on.
Yeah. Now, Natalie, I know that, along the way, there were probably certain things that you did in order to be able to afford, to buy an apartment. What were your kind of like strategies behind being able to qualify, for example, for a credit in Germany, and then to have enough for perhaps a down payment? Like, what were some of the strategies that you were following? One of them was probably, switching jobs, getting promoted, having a higher, income potential, earning potential. But what else were you doing?
In the beginning, I had a second part-time job. So that I can pay everything on my own, even my studies. But then when I was starting to work full-time, and there was no time to work for some other people, I started to talk to my bosses, what can we do? And one option was to do this master. After the master, I I was at the point where, I saw that I cannot financially grow when I stay at Deichmann. I have to move, and I have to start going into negotiation.
And I wanna right now, emphasize this, how important it is for us women, especially, to not just play the defensive game when it comes to money and earning potential. It's important to save, and that has its place as you become wealthy. But it's also very important to get on the offensive. And what I mean by that is, like Natalie is explaining right now, being able to, or having the courage and being brave enough to know what your worth is, what value you bring to the table, and negotiate, promotion, perhaps a higher salary, or a move to a different company, which is eventually, I think, what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's super, super important. So thank you very much, for sharing that, because that is, I think, to this day, something that, here, at least in the U.S., for us ladies and across, all society, there's an advice about, save, and savings are important, but we also want to start, thinking about how can we increase our earning potential, and then the savings that we do have, how can we start investing them? Because now, you are continuing on your journey and of becoming wealthy, and you're now at the point where you're thinking about possibly a second asset.
Yes.
Tell us about that. How did that come about?
Yes. I'm thinking about how can I grow, but especially because of the future. I don't know what's happening, and I want to be prepared. So that's why I'm thinking already about buying some new departments or apartments that I can rent and get more money on a different way than my full-time job.
Exactly. Yeah. So this basically, in your full-time job, you're having to put in, I don't know how many hours a week, and you're exchanging hours for dollars, and you're basically transitioning from what we like to call here in the Becoming Wealthy world, active income, to now starting and investing some of that active income into assets that give you passive income. Yeah, absolutely. So that's basically the trajectory that you're in, and I'm just so proud, and I couldn't be more blown away by basically the journey that you're in, and seeing the different types of identities that you've stepped into, because now you're going from being, having the identity of, an executive at a major corporation, that is known nationwide, to also stepping into the identity of being an investor, a real estate investor, which I absolutely love. That is our passion here at in the Bosch family. Yeah. So maybe I can even, dare to say that we might have had a little bit.
Oh yes, you have a lot of influence.
An influence, yeah. Yeah. So
I won a new family and new mentors of my life.
Yes, thank you so much, Natalie. That means the world to us.
That's true.
Yes. Now, so you just started in Aldi. It's about a year into this new position.
Yeah.
I know you're going through a big, project that is transforming the entire company, where you're having to deal with, people from all kinds of departments. And in this year that you have been here, at Aldi, what has been your biggest lesson or learning that you could share with us, from a marketing perspective, or, your position specifically?
My biggest learning is networking. Networking with different people from different departments.
People that are different than you, that think different than you, that have different backgrounds,
that are men, that are women, that are old or young, that are higher than me from the position level. It doesn't matter. I just start talking to people, meeting them for lunch, not only for a meeting to talk about, just to have a conversation or just walk through the offices and say hello. I think this was the biggest learning I took from Deichmann, which I'm applying now on, where I take the time to do networking and not only work, because networking is sometimes more important than
The actual work.
yes.
Sophia, now what advice have you heard at home about networking, especially with people that you don't know, that you might not feel comfortable? Tell us about what you hear at home.
You need to talk to people. I hear that all the time. Talk to people that you don't usually talk to. Find something in common. Just like say hi. Like yesterday, I went to like a party, and the people that were invited are not usually my crowd. But I have nothing against them. I just don't know them. So.
But now you got to know them.
But now
better.
I got to know them, and they're so nice. I love them.
And there's so many more people that we don't know than the ones that we do know. And every single person has, a gift, something valuable that, that you can learn from, that you can, that they can share with you. And that's basically what Natalie right now is using, because she needs that in order to get the collaboration and cooperation from many different departments to get on board with this project, that is basically from a technological perspective, bringing Aldi to, their next evolution. Yeah. So something as simple as that starts in high school with talking to people that
Just talking to people.
that we don't know.
That's so easy.
Exactly. It's so easy.
It's so easy, but yet so hard.
I know. It can be hard.
At least for me.
But that's why it's important to get out of our, out of our shell and out of our comfort zone. And like Natalie was saying,
This
be
year
brave.
I've been better.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
I mean, last year, since I switched schools, I had to talk to people because I didn't know anyone. But this year, it's gotten much better. And I'm proud of myself.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Now, tell us a little bit about, Natalie, I know we're getting here towards the tail end, but tell us a little bit about being brave and what does that, what has that meant for you, and how when you feel a little bit fearful about, taking a step forward into a new becoming, what do you do to be brave?
Actually, being brave is my biggest challenge. It's not easy for me to make decisions.
I don't think it's easy for anyone.
Yeah, I really don't like doing decisions, but we have to. So what I do is having conversations with my so-called mentors. I have specific people in my life where I talk to and ask for a recommendation. And this...
See their perspective.
Yeah. And this helps me. So my advice is here, keep these kind of people in your life. This so-called vitamin B in Germany. These are my main people I'm talking to when I have to do big decisions. Not only privately, but also in business.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Any other question that you might want to ask Natalie? In German, even, if you want.
Covered a lot.
Well, Natalie, it was such a pleasure to have you here with us today and basically go through the different iterations of the identities that you have stepped into. And I can't wait to see you fully stepping in. I know you're a homeowner already of your primary residence, but I can't wait to see you stepping into that next level, which is, an investment property, and just seeing how far you go, even in your, executive, position at Aldi. I am rooting for you. I'm excited for you. What are you excited about? If I may ask one last question for the future, what excites you?
Excited of of new experiences, people I meet. I'm just
an open book.
Yes.
Yeah, open to new experiences.
So let's see what's happening next year. Maybe I'm here again.
Yay!
Yes.
We would love
and
that.
tell you about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you so very much, Natalie. We greatly appreciate you. We love you. And we can't wait to see you very soon again, either when we are in Germany or when you come back here to the U.S. and
I'm going to hop on that train from Oma and Opa's house to visit you.
That was a time where you have been brave and you've taken the, the train all on your own. See?
That's scary.
Yeah, but now you've done it and it doesn't feel as scary.
No.
Now you're thinking, oh, since I've done it before, now I can go see Natalie.
Yeah.
And take the train too. Yes. Well, with that, guys, thank you so very much for being with us on another episode of Becoming Wealthy. Definitely share this with, some 30-something-year-old in your life, maybe with a teenager in your life, or maybe with a 40-something-year-old in your life. I learned so much today from Natalie. And if you like this episode as well, leave us a review, a 5-star review ideally, and just share it so that we can basically reach many more women. We are on a mission, Sophia and I, of empowering many more women and really paving the way for a new generation of women to be financially savvy, to be independent, and to become trailblazers in their own right, in their particular industries, just like, Natalie is doing it right now in marketing, for this big corporation. So thank you very much, and looking forward to being with you guys in the next episode of Becoming Wealthy.